give you an idea of what it's going to look like, because your customers want these trailers to be set in a lot of different places, often out the way, against the fence in some places, but what I want you to see is how much space we need so we can do the things that we need to do, right? To be able to install, to service, and just some pitfalls that we have. And I have just general, like, my overall, here's things that you should all know. So I say this every time, so if I said it to you before, I'm going to say it again, because it has to be drilled in, so I just want to make sure that everyone understands exactly kind of what we're dealing with. So we got everything set up. I guess before we go anywhere, we had our fence delivered. This is a normal fence panel, 6 by 12. We have 2 different types. This yellow is a Bigfoot weight, and this is your normal sandbag. A sandbag is what you're gonna get 95% of the time. If you guys are trying to sell fence and you deliver it, most of the time they're just gonna get a sandbag. These Bigfoot weights are something that you're gonna have to ask for, or they're gonna request. Oftentimes, if the fence is going in a very populated area where people are gonna be walking by a lot, they want this because there's the safety hazard, right? There's a sandbag is gonna sit like that. Sandbags tear, they break, they have to be replaced often. This thing is pretty stable. You can stack multiples on top, so if it needs to be heavier, we can go higher, right? 35 pounds? 33 pounds each. We can stack 3 or 4 high. The only other thing we're gonna need, this is your privacy screen, right? Comes in all types of colors, green, tan, black, whatever color they want. I don't know what they stock here, but it's pretty generic.
Green, blue, and black generally.
Green, blue, and black. There we go. You guys don't have tan?
No tan?
No.
Interesting. If you guys are putting screen, or if you guys are trying to sell screen, this fence needs to be post driven. What that means is there's going to be an 8-foot post in between every panel, because as you can tell, if wind comes, this becomes a sail, and the fence is going to be out in the middle of the street. So anytime we post drive something, it needs to be a dig ticket. 811, we have to go out and make sure that the county marks all necessary important things so we don't dig into it. That takes 3 days. So if the customer needs a post-driven fence, I need a minimum of 3 days notice, because that's how long it's going to take them, 811, to mark everything.
How deep you go?
The fence, 2 feet.
2 feet down?
Yeah.
So you said 3 days. That's from incident notification. How much time do you need realistically on your calendar to be able to respond to that and plan ahead for it?
Well, it's 3 days from when we go into
You
market.
said 3 days for the process, but how many days do you need on your end?
Fence lead time in the area is currently...
It depends the time of the year. It's anywhere from a day to 7 days.
Okay, so we're better off saying probably 7 business days.
Ideally a week plus, so that way we have more than enough time. We can make sure that we have time, especially event season. You can understand a lot of fence goes out during event season.
Sorry.
You're good. What happens?
Don't mess up now.
Everybody's watching.
And you know what? The other variable to your question too is the amount of fence that is required, the amount of linear feet of fence panels. Certainly smaller jobs we may be able to respond to much faster as opposed to a larger scale project.
Our fence crews are pretty good. We'll do our best to respond as quickly as possible. In a 911, we'll try to get as many people there, and we'll try to get it done as quickly as possible. I have, for all the salespeople, I have like a general little sheet that I'll send you guys later, which will go through the basic questions you need to ask to sell fence. How much fence, how many gates, freestanding or post-driven, how long, prevailing wage. It's generic. If you have that, we can deal with the rest, and if there's any more questions, we can get that information. But that's the basic information we need so we can properly get a fence quote.
We also have higher panels too.
Yeah, we have 8-foot panels, same size, 8 foot. You guys have rolled fence, yeah?
Yes.
And there's rolled chain link. It'll look like chain link, but again, just remember this is all temporary fence. No cement's being used. It's not meant to be there for long periods of time. So I just say that as a disclaimer. Temporary fence panels.
Rental only, we don't sell.
Correct.
One other difference too, if everybody looks at this, you can see that these are diamond shaped, so they're very pliable. You can squeeze these. You can also kick your toe box, and you can, somebody can scale the fence.
Right.
We have a different type of panel, and it's rectangular, and we call it climb resistant. It's not climb proof, it's climb resistant. You can't kick your toe box and you can't scale the fence. So it has this really great aesthetic. The look is really good, but there's the structural integrity is much better. You can place either. You can place this or the other type of fence panel. It's called Z&D. And just as John said, we can equip this with the Bigfoot panels. 33 pounds, we can double, triple, stack these to create more weight. A lot of customers really, really like this. Also on the windscreen or the privacy screen, in a lot of cases you don't need it, but we can add it. We can also do customization, so we can put a logo on it. We can put Mobile Modular, we could put Mobile Modular and ABC Company. So there's a lot of customization that we can do as well. It's just based on need. And at the end of the day, everybody's here to make money, and this is part of your, whatever the nomenclature, your VAPS program, right? When you bolt on extra products and services to a trailer placement. So this creates a great revenue or an annuity stream going forward with that particular trailer placement.
I have a question.
Yep.
Sometimes when I walk by the job site or what have you, I see those screens are slash
Yeah. When
for the wind.
Yeah.
Right. Is that okay with you guys? Really?
It allows the wind flow to go
Exactly.
through
It's-
as opposed to.
trust, it's that or we're picking up fence all day.
Right. So
Or
you guys
you
are
are. Or you
okay
are.
with it.
Yeah.
So to follow up with that, is that something you guys do, or do you expect the customer to do
Depends
that?
on it depends on the request or how windy the area is. If it becomes what happens, at least in my experience, right? If it becomes a problem, we will ask the customer if it's okay for them, because sometimes they don't want things on the other side to be visible, so they don't want it slashed. But
Sure.
the ideal scenario is that we would.
And then if they do it, is there a back charge for doing that? To something wasn't delivered that way?
No. We pretty much sell the privacy screen as our rental item. It's a one-time charge.
And then it's yours. Keep or throw away, what have you.
So what happens when it blows over? Who pays to go back out?
Customer.
The customer,
Yeah.
which would be us.
Your end user. But it's in the
Bottom line is there's a charge. and we
correct.
have to deal with it.
In the what's this called? In the like fence terms and agreements, it lays out charges for like trip fees, stuff like that. Like it's still, as you can understand, it costs us money to have a truck get out, come over here and pick up the fence. It's not a free product. But this is again, if somebody's getting fence, this is a normal process for them to have fence. This is not. It's not a new. Yeah.
It's pretty rare.
If we set up the fence properly, then we shouldn't have problems unless it's like 80-mile-an-hour winds, something like that.
Windstorm, it's typically
Not-
hit by equipment on site. Forklift, tractor. They'll smash it down.
Any other questions? All right, let's get to the fun part.
The hat.
Gotcha.
Hey, what's up, Rico? Good.
Instead, we're already leaving. Yeah. We should have mic'd them up.
I don't know. I just found out about it yesterday. I don't have a mic.
I do. We got mics. Like the ones that click on.
I'm not as sophisticated.
All right. This is gonna be a normal setup, right? This is your holding tank. This is your water tank. First and foremost, this is a perfectly closed system. What that means is this can empty and this will fill. There's no spill. The only time it's gonna spill over is if this gets refilled before this gets empty. So if the customer adds water for any reason before we actually service them, then that's when you're gonna have issues. But it's built that this can run completely dry and then this will completely fill up, nothing will leak. This is gonna be based on the way it's set up. Now I've personally installed about half a dozen of these things. 5 of them didn't leak. My very first one leaked. So I'm quite confident in this. So your water tank's gonna go here. It's gonna be placed as close to the water source as possible. Also, please mind you, this is the most important thing. This is the thing that comes up often. This requires power. We need power to be close. Power must be provided to us. We're not going to give the customer. We're not going to get extension cords, anything like that. If the customer doesn't have power there, or if the power is inside or whatever, then the customer is going to have to get an extension cord. That's just how it works. But we need power over here to work. Our trucks, although they generally have a very long suction hose for waste, their water hose tends to be shorter. So the ideal scenario, 10, 15, within 20 feet, we would like our truck to be able to get to so we can efficiently give water. Because those things tend to be short because we have to cut them, change them, fix them. So this is normally about 50 feet, 20 to 50 feet we'll have, so we have a lot more room to. And then there's other things that can be added. If we can't get to it, I can add extensions so we can make the reach. But just remember, the one thing I want to stress in this, water is always going to be as much more difficult for us. You guys have a water truck here?
Yes.
Water is much easier in the Northern California area than it is in other areas. They have a water truck, so life's a little bit easier. But our normal trucks only carry about 300-ish gallons of water, maybe 400. So if it's a normal truck that's going to service, this takes up pretty much his entire water source. Plus, you have to understand he has other things he has to do at that site, toilets, things of that nature. So just understand, a lot of people want to have these large water tanks, large water systems. They're just a little bit more difficult. Our holding tank system is based off of gravity, right? This is the one thing I want to stress. From the bottom of this pipe to the ground, you're looking at just about 13 inches. I need that to be a minimum of 18 inches. From the bottom of your septic pipe to the ground. This is a normal size holding tank. We have some lower profile ones. I have some ones that can come out on the side, but for the most part, your tank's gonna look similarly to this. If I don't have 18 inches, as you can see, there's no way we're gonna connect this.
Is that a recent change? Because I think in the past we worked with you guys in 14.5 to 7 was what we were told.
My general go-to in my 6 years has always been 18 inches. So if they've been able to work with less here, can we do less? Yes. Is it gonna be easy or common? No. Because the tanks we take out is whatever is available at the time, so I can't guarantee what tank you're gonna get. But this, I can tell you, with 18 inches, any tank will fit anything. I won't have any issues, we won't have any problems. We'll be able to install. Because if you try to install here, right, your 90's gonna go up, we're gonna come down, and as you can tell, we have no flow, right? Mm-hmm. Nothing runs uphill here.
Yeah, sometimes they put them on piers, it might raise it already to give you that clearance that you need. But
yeah,
there's our plumber, he does everything at 14.5. That's what we've been told.
That was the instruction
Yeah.
before.
So, again, I can make it work up. 18 inches is just going to be the simplest way without having any issues. Because what our techs gonna go out there, if they can't do it, then it's 2 or 3 day process. And I know the coordinators all have this understanding. Sometimes it takes us multiple conversations and multiple trips just to get one install done, right? So
What's this one at right here?
this one's at a little over 13 inches.
Can you I'll take a measurement and take a picture, and then I want you to put your finger at 18 just so we have a reference point. Put your finger at 18. Yeah. Thank you. We'll make that part of our.
So, is the tie-in on the side?
What's that?
Where's the tie-in?
The tie-in's up here. Some of them have a side tie-in. This one's glued shut. We could, in a normal scenario, I probably could have used this, but I just didn't want to jam it open. But I could have turned this sideways. But also understand, like, a lot of this things comes with how the customer wants it looking, space, where it's located. I had an issue in Vegas where they set up all of the tanks to be connected on the front side of the trailer. The front side is where everyone's parking. That's where everyone's walking by. That's where everything's happening. We'll have no access, and to be fair, nobody wants to walk by tanks when they're going to the job site, right? So it's important that we think about those small things, because like it's easy for us to move them there, but like once they're placed, that's where they're at.
So, guys, what is this building set at? The threshold of the lower to the ground.
It's not on piers.
36? Okay, so it needs to be about 38 to 40 inches, right? Is that what we're talking about here? So it would be high enough for the flow?
Kind of the length of the building, the chassis, and everything else. One very
Yeah.
The
And then,
longer
I
the
mean,
building, the longer the run.
Understood.
And then our steps aren't going to work.
Yeah.
Too high of a set.
Well, we do have adjustable steps
We do, but
that could handle 42 inches, but I just want to know what it is now. So it seems like a 38 to 40 inches minimum. It's got to be.
So the standard connection is you guys are always going from the top or it's from the side? Currently looking at that, 14 to center.
I'm saying
previously would work from the side.
It varies from tank to tank. Not all our tanks are exactly the same. There's a tank that has a side that will have a side outlet here, right? This tank has a side outlet here, which again, if I could have connected to this with fine flow. This one's just glued shut. I didn't want to jam it over. But we could have connected it. Most of them have a side outlet. Some of them have a side outlet. My general statement, or my general thing, without issue is 18 inches. Can we make it work with less than 18 inches? We'll always try to find a way, but 18 inches is my ideal threshold that I've never seen have a problem in my 6 years. The other option is, so if it's not high enough, then we got to get into, if this can't go up, then this has to go down, right? Customer has to dig 1 foot down, 6 inches down, whatever the case may be. But that all depends on location, space, equipment, all those types of things.
And that's either a customer responsibility or a mobile modular responsibility, but we do not do that. We don't dig or we don't excavate. Don, you're laughing.
I'm good.
Last part?
I have a stupid question.
Yes.
So as this fills up, where's the air go? Because there's no.
This isn't sealed. That isn't sealed.